晚上好. Dear voters of Hougang, good evening. Hougang is a very special constituency. If you look carefully at the electoral boundary map, do you notice the shape of Hougang SMC? What shape is it? It's not square. It's not round. It's not even a trapezium or a parallelogram. In fact, if you look at it carefully, it is shaped like a flash of lightning. And that tells you a very important story, that for the last 20 years, Hougang voters have been constantly zapped by lightning. You are just one small constituency, but your voice has been heard loud and clear at the national level. Tonight, I would like to thank you for your guts. You may not realize how much your vote has made a difference to Singapore. First, let me go back in time. Before 1991, Parliament only had one elected opposition MP, Mr. Chiam See Tong, against 80 from PAP. This was after Mr. J.B. Jeyaretnam was disqualified from being an MP. WP had no elected MP in Parliament. At the 1991 general election, you trusted Mr. Lau Tia Kiang and voted for him. Was not happy about this. You were told you will get estate upgrading last. Bus routes were suddenly cut. But what did you do? You held your head high and refused to bow down to them. I remember 15 years ago talking to a secretary in my office. She was a resident of Hougang. I asked her how she felt to have transport routes cut after WP was voted in. She replied very simply, "Never mind. If we have no train, we will take bus. If we have no bus, we can walk." Four days ago, on nomination day, I was walking out of the nomination center, Serangoon Junior College. I bumped into a resident of Hougang whom I did not know personally. He told me that he would continue to vote for Workers' Party, and his logic was, again, very straightforward. 这位后港居民跟我说，我们后港居民已经受苦20多年了，他们说什么，我们都不管。Translated, we Hougang residents have been suffering here for more than 20 years. Whatever they have to say, we are not interested. That is why I was a bit puzzled when the PAP unveiled its campaign theme for this by-election in Hougang. They say the PAP is always here for you. Always? Where have they been for the last 20 years? In the 2006 general election, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong assigned Senior Minister Goh Chok Tong to win back Hougang. SM Goh promised Hougang $100 million for upgrading in exchange for voting for the PAP. What happened? Mr. Lau Tia Kiang's vote went up by nearly 8%, from 55% to 63%. Hougang residents for being loyal to their MP and said that this was, and I quote, a better characteristic for them than to be chasing after every goodie we offer them, unquote. This allowed for 4 elections and enabled the Workers' Party to grow. You also gave Hougang Town Council the platform to build up its staff expertise. 20 years later, voters voters in Aljunied voted in WP. This was the first time in Singapore's history that a GRC had fallen into opposition hands. Some skeptics wondered if we could run a town council on a GRC scale. They still hope that we will fail. But we promised voters that we would work hard. Almost 1 year has passed since Aljunied Hougang Town Council was formed. And you know what? We are doing all right. A recent Straits Times poll of 200 residents of Aljunied said that most residents found the estate as clean as it was in the past. Of course, there will always be areas for improvement, and we will work on those. Every town council can improve. But I can assure you of one thing. Aljunied Hougang Town is marching on. How did we get to this point? We have a team of dedicated professionals with town council experience because for the past 20 years, you Hougang voters have supported us. Because of you, Singaporeans can see they now have a choice. They can see that it is not only the PAP that can run town councils. So we are grateful to you, dear Hougang voters. We know you have made sacrifices for Singapore because you care so much about our country and your children's future. We have the deepest respect for you and will never take you for granted. Mr. Lau Tia Kiang worked extra hard to ensure that Hougang Town was well managed. He fought for your rights in Parliament as your opposition voice. Peng Eng Huat will do the same. Now let me talk just a bit about Peng Eng Huat tonight. Peng is familiar with what goes on in Parliament. He has been helping MPs, and especially Mr. Lau, research and write speeches for Parliament for many years. I know he will be able to perform in Parliament. I look forward to him sitting beside me in the chamber, if that is your wish. The Workers' Party has fought for everything we have. We are now fighting again for your vote in Hougang. Mr. Desmond Chu says 5 alternative voices is enough. Is 5 enough? No! Singapore needs a first world parliament. We are not there yet. In fact, we have only just begun. And the best is yet to be. Vote Workers' Party towards a